Hello friends, today I have come up with a new video where I will be explaining to you about the significators. In KP, how we can identify the significators, or basically how the planets will going to give the results that we will be discussing. First thing that we need to understand about the significators are, what does it mean by significator? It simply means that any planet, and we have 9 planets and 12 houses. A native will going to enjoy the results of this 12 houses in his whole life, and those matters of these 12 houses will be influenced by the planets, these 9 planets. So these 9 planets will going to give the result accordingly, and how they will give the results, it is based on the signification of those planets. So for example, if sun, so it might give a result of the 7th house or 11th house. So we can say Sun is significator of 7th and 11th house, because when Sun DBA will come, Sun will give the result of 7th and 11th. In traditional astrology, significator, we calculate the significator in a different manner. In KP, we calculate the significator in different manner. So first, let's understand how we can calculate significator in traditional, just a glimpse of it. So in traditional, when we are assessing the significators, we can then we do check in the Rashi chart, right? So if we see let's say we we want to assess the significator of the moon. Moon first gave the results of where it is posited, right? Or in other words, we can say the moon first will going to give the result where it is occupant. So it is in the 4th house. Second, it will give the result of its sign, the sign of moon, where the sign of the moon in this chart. It will give the result based on that. Third, it will give the result of aspect. So if we see the moon is posited in the 4th house, and the sign of moon is in the 2nd house, and moon is viewing the Jupiter 10th house as well, right? So moon will going to signify 4, 2 and 10. In general, there might be a many other way calculate the significator in the traditional, but it is not as of now our interest. I just wanted to show you how we assess the signification in traditional, because if you are having the idea about the traditional, we can easily map that into the KP. So with respect to the KP, the first thing which is different in KP, we don't see the Rasi chart while assessing the significator. We check the Bhav Chalit chart or the Kaspa chart. So that's the one difference. And there are some rules to identify how we can find the significator of a planet. So first in this video, we will be discussing about planet significators. And then in next video or the upcoming video, I will be explaining you about the house significators. There are 2 kinds of significators that we need to find out. So first we will be today discussing about the planet significators. What does it mean? Planet significators, we have 9 planets, and how they will going to give the result to the native, we will be going to assess in this chart. In KP, there are certain rules to identify the planet significators. It's very simple. We just need to know about basics, and we will be able to identify the planet significators. It doesn't require to remember the rules, because in software you will get all the significators along with the planetary positions, but it is always useful to know how we can calculate manually, so that we are not that much rely on the software. Software might sometimes give you different significators, but if we know how they are calculated, we can glance about, we can see this is how they are calculated, and we will be having a confidence about the things, and later it will going to help us in the prediction as well. So There is a one basic rule in KP. If you have read about the KP, read any KP reader or any of the KP books, in KP, when it doesn't give result of itself, it gives the result of its star lord, right? So the basic rule in KP, we can say that planet gives result of its star lord. This is the very basic rule. There are certain changes in the rule, but we will see when we will be doing kind of a prediction, the strong significators and how we can identify those, that we will see in that in different videos. But for now, let's consider or focus on planets gives result of its star lord. What does it mean? So let's say if we have a planet A which is in a star of B. So planet A first will going to give result of its star lord, then it will give result of itself. So first it will give result of star, second it will give result of self. So this two rule we can infer from this line, that how planet will going to give the result. What does it mean? We have seen like we see in this chart. Let's assume that this is the your cusp chart, and we have a moon over here, and moon is in the Jupiter star. So first moon will give result of Jupiter. So where is Jupiter? The Jupiter is in 10th house, right? And where is moon? Moon is in the 4th house. So moon will first give result of 10. So we can note it down, moon 10. Then moon will give result of 4, right? This is what it means by this line. Planets give result of its star lord first. And this line will come to you every place, like whenever you are doing assessing a chart, doing a prediction, horary, everywhere you will first see this result. This is a very basic rule. So whenever we see the KP or we read a chart, this first rule should come to our mind. Okay, having said that, so what rules are there to find the significators of a planet? First thing we can say, let's say we have a planet A. This planet A will going to give the result of its two kind. One, by the occupancy, or we can say by the opposite, right? Second, it will give the result based on the sign rising. We have only these two rules, based on the occupancy. Second, it will give result based on the sign rising. Now we have the basic rule that we need to apply over here. Okay, so the planet A will give the result of the occupancy, but the first it will give result of its star, then it will give result of self. Same, planet will first give result of its star, then it will give result of self. So we come up with the four rule: first rule, second rule, third rule, and fourth rule. And this is also the order of strength, we can say. So what does it mean? Like the planet A first will give result of the houses involved at level 1, then level 2, then level 3, then level 4. It doesn't mean the planet A will never gonna give the result of house involved at level 4. It will give, but there are certain conditions to that. We will see later. You will see this writings everywhere in the KP books, summarizing these steps. The planet will going to give the result of the houses where the star lord is posited. Second, planet will going to give the result of house where the planet itself is posited. Third, planet will give the result of house where the sign of star lord is rising. The star lord signs. Fourth, it will give the result of all those houses where the sign of itself is rising. So these are the four rules. If you will remember this chart, you are good to go. You might find a different kind of definitions, different kind of wordings, but this is what I can summarize all this to. So let's now work on a chart and find out the significators. So we have this chart, and in this chart, so this is the cusp chart or how chalit chart. Both are same. This is the planetary position at that time. The sun was in the Rahu nakshatra, moon was in Mercury nakshatra, Mars was in moon nakshatra, and so on. These are the planets, and below that we are having the nakshatra. So first I will going to take the sun to find out the significators of the sun. So we know that we have four level of significator, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I will number it out. So sun first has to give result of it's a star, where the star of this sun is posited, right? Star of sun is Rahu, and in this chart we can see Rahu is posited or the occupant of house fifth. So first it will give the result of fifth. I just noted down this number at level 1 was first significator. Second, the sun will give results of itself where it is posited. So it is in third house. So we can write it down third house. Third, the planet will give result of those houses where the star lord sign are rising. So Rahu doesn't have any lordship of the sign. So we can just skip this step for third level. Fourth level, we know the planet will give result of its own sign. So let's see where's the Leo. So we don't see the Leo. Like if you will see the 4th to 6th, the Leo is not risen up and it doesn't get any house. So what we will see, there is no result of sun as a sign lord. So it will give the result of 5 and 3 only. Next, let's take the moon. So moon is in the Mercury star. So first it will give the result of the Mercury, and if we see the Mercury is occupant of second house, so we can see we can write 2 at first level because it is the occupant of second house. Second, the moon give the result of itself, so it is in fourth house, so we can write it down 4 over here. Third, it will give the result of the signs of Mercury lordship. So the Mercury has 2 signs, 3 and 6, and we see third house is Gemini is in the 8th house, so we can write down 8, and 6 we can see in the 10th house, we can write down 10 over here. So at third level 8 and 10 house are included. Now at the last, the moon will give result of itself, and if you will see the fourth sign, which is the moon sign, the Cancer, is in the 9th house, so 9th house is also included. The moon becomes a significator of 2, 4, 8, 10, and 9. Let's take one more example of Mars. So Mars is in the moon star. So we know at first level and the third level, the planet will give result of its star only. So moon, we have already checked, is occupant of fourth house, so we'll just copy it down here, fourth cusp, and moon sign is in ninth cusp at third level. I will just copy it down. So what we need to check now, Mars. So Mars is in seventh house. So seventh house, I will note it down. And the Mars sign, we have two sign of the Mars, the Aries and Scorpio, 1 and 8. So 1 is in the fifth house, and 8 is in the first house. One more thing that we need to check, like the Aries sign is extended in sixth house as well, right? So we also noted down 6. So the Mars will become the significator of 4, 7, 9, 5, 1 and 6. So in similar fashion, we can calculate of Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. It would be the same thing. Let's calculate for Rahu. So Rahu is in the Ketu star, and we know Rahu and Ketu doesn't have any lordship of the signs. So the lordship part, because it is in the Ketu sign, so lordship we can put a dash over here. One thing. Second, we need to check the occupancy. So Rahu is in the Ketu star and Ketu is in the 11th house. So we will note it down the 11th at the first level, and Rahu itself in the 6th house, 5th house. We will note it down 5th. What if Rahu was in not in the Ketu but in Mercury, let's say in Jupiter? Then what we will be doing? So Rahu will first give the result of the Jupiter, and Jupiter over here you can see is in, okay, I forget to add the Jupiter. So Jupiter here is in 4th house, so we can note it down the 4th. Then Rahu itself in the 5th, then 5th. Third, it will give result of its planets, its star lord signs. So Jupiter's sign are 9 and 12. So 9 is in second house, 12 is in 4th. So we can see 2, 4. And Rahu itself doesn't have any kind of a planet, so we can mark it dash. So if Jupiter would be star of Rahu, then this will be the significator in this chart, right? So in this way, we can identify the significators and assess the chart accordingly. So this is the same chart for which we calculated the manual significators for few of the planets. So here you will see this is our Bhavcharit chart and and these are the planetary positions, and here you can see in this area you can see all the significators that are already calculated. So Sun, you can see the 5 and 3, we calculated it manually as well. Then Moon will give the results of, becomes a significator of 4, 8, 10, 9. Then 4, 7, 9, 1, 5, 6, and so on. The different planets becomes the significators of the planets. So if you will double click on this chart, you will see this significator table, this one. This significator table is basically based on the level. We calculated 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is mentioned over here as A, B, C, and D. So here you can see the star lord in the blue section. So the planet Sun is in the Rahu star, and we know in this chart, if you will see, Rahu is in the 5th. We have already seen that. So Rahu becomes the first level. 5 becomes the first level signification for this planet Sun. Then 3. C and D is empty. We have already seen why the reason behind it. Similarly, all the planets are given. Okay, so if you will see the Venus over here, so Venus is in Saturn star, right? And in this chart, the Saturn is in 4th house. Sorry, 3rd house. So at level A, we noted down 3rd. Then Venus itself is in 4th star, 4th house. So we noted down 4th over here. Now at C, Venus will give the result of Saturn sign. And Saturn sign, what we are having, we have 10 and 11. If you will see 10, 10 is in third house, but 11th sign is not there in this fortunate chart. So we just skip that 11th sign. So third at level C. So and at C, if you will see, it is missing. It's empty. Why so? Because third was already become significator at level 1. So we are just not writing it. So it will be the first level significator, right? Then 7 1 12, because Venus, it's Venus sign. We know that the sign of Venus are 2 and 7, and 2 you can see in 7th house, and 7 you can see it's in 11th house as well as in 12th house. It is extended in 12th house as well. That's why 7 11 and 12 is there. So this is the way I have shown to you how we can identify the planet significators, and what is the role of significators. I hope that you might have get an understanding about it. So next video I'll be come up with the Bhav significators. If you are liking the content of my channel, I would strongly recommend you to subscribe to this channel and like the video. If you have any doubts, something is not clear, give me the feedback. Feel free. I'll be reaching out to you, and we'll try to solve those issues. Write it down in the comment section. So for now, I'll say I will take your leave. Have a good day. Bye.